What's up, everybody? It's David coming to you with another Gears of War 3 commentary. In this one, I wanted to talk about the sawed-off again. I just wanted to touch on a little bit, so don't X out of it saying, "Oh man, it's just another sawed-off rant." This is not a rant. This is tips or my own strategies to defeating the sawed-off. Because up until recently, it just made me rage. Get nerd rage, but until I figured out how to counter it, which is only two real ways I know of to counter it, which is the first one being run. When you see a sawed-off, just run, because it's easier to retreat and have them chase you and then turn around and shoot them, as long as they're not right on your ass, in which case you're pretty much dead if you ever stop. I know that from personal experience. So run. Don't be afraid to run. Because I know in Gears 1 and 2, most people, including myself, when they saw an enemy, they wouldn't run unless they were outnumbered. They were going to stay and fight to a reasonable degree, unless the enemy had like a boom shot or something. So run is the first method of defeating them, and the second method that I've learned is like bait them out. What you gotta do is just kind of move up on them, because they're probably gonna be camping a corner. And so if you know they're there, move up a little bit to where they'll say, "Oh look, here he comes." They'll jump out. That's when you roll away. And once they're out of cover, then they'll pretty much chase you. I've rarely seen where they'll go back into cover, because I don't want to say people who use the sawed-off aren't smart, but they're just not. On average, they're just not as skilled at Gears of War than someone who uses the Gnasher or been around since 1 and 2. On average, I'm not just saying all sawed-off users are scrubs, but just on average, they're just not as skilled, obviously. So those are my two ways killing sawed-off users, which I found to work really well. In this gameplay, I think I only died by the sawed-off once or twice, I can't remember. And which is actually not that bad, because I actually went through and counted how many times people got killed with the sawed-off in this gameplay, and I came up with 26 kills with the sawed-off total in this game, which is over one entire round of kills, the team deathmatch round. So it's pretty heavy on sawed-off use. And I think I died coming up right here. The chainsaw. That's the next thing I'm going to talk about. The chainsaw is awesome in this game. If anyone disagrees, you're just wrong. It's awesome. This is the way it should have been all the time. It's still got, if you try to rev it up while you're getting shot at, you'll get stunned. And the stun isn't as crippling as it was in Gears 1 and 2, because when you try to rev up that chainsaw while you were when you rev up the chainsaw in Gears 1 and got stunned by it, then you were pretty much locked down for like half a second. It doesn't seem too long, but it's pretty damn long when you got a guy in your face with a shotgun. So in Gears 1 and 2, any sort of potential for a combat chainsaw was just thrown out the window, because it was so dangerous to even attempt it. If you failed, you're dead. And right here, I want everyone to rewind that video and watch that part. That is a professional kill stealer, my friends. Memories. Remember that gamer tag. If you play with them, know that they will steal your kill. They're professionals at it. Anyways, side note. The chainsaw. In Gears 1 and 2 was way too dangerous to even use it in combat. But in Gears 3, it's not. Because even if you get stunned, it's not nearly as crippling when you get stunned. I think, I'm not sure, but I think you can still move when you're stunned. I don't think you can roadie run, but you can still move. I think. Don't quote me on that. And the whole thing about it's actually a viable tactic in combat now, especially in shotgun duels, when people have the shotgun out. As soon as they fire that one shot, boom, fire up the chainsaw, because they got a second before they can shoot again. It's a 1 second cock time on the Gnasher. And, you know, go to town on them. Because I used to think the chainsaw was like, you know, the noob chainsaw noob. But I mean, with the sawed off, nothing is anymore. It's all fair. If the sawed off is fair, everything else is fair in my opinion. Everything else. And so, you know, whatever. So that's all I have to really say about the chainsaw. The next thing I want to talk about is the maps. Maps in Gears of War 3. They're not exactly the best maps I've seen in my life. They're not terrible. They're not bad maps, and they're entertaining enough. But it seems like we got the best in the beta. Check out Thrashball. Actually, take that back. Thrashball was not that great of a map. But check out Old Town. I love Old Town, by the way. And what's the other one? I forget. There was some other map on there. Oh yeah, Trenches. Now that map was alright. But it just seems like the only other good map that we didn't really play that I like is Mercy. All the other maps just seem kind of meh to me. Gridlock, of course, is awesome, but I mean, come on. We played that 3 games in a row now. And I love Gridlock. I love it. But, really? Third time charm, I guess. I mean, geez. Even Halo didn't bring back Blood Gulch 3 times in a row. They skipped a game, Halo 3, I think. And so I don't really like the maps. There's nothing special about them. They're just kind of bland. I like the nighttime in Gridlock, and I like the Mad World piano when you don't destroy any of the Ash people. I like that. That's cool. But it would have been great if they had added in weather effects. Weather effects, I don't know what they were thinking without doing that. Because correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think we've had any weather effects on any maps past Gears 1. I think. No, in Gears 2 there was snow. Besides the snow, there's been nothing. And so, I don't know why, you know, I guess it's the Unreal Engine or whatever. But they need to put weather effects in their maps, their DLC maps, which brings me to the next point of the DLC. I'm not even going to get into the weapons right now. I'll do that some other time. But the season pass, I don't know, I was originally, before the game came out, I was going to buy it. Like, I was about to go out to the store the next day and get Microsoft points. But I decided not to because I thought about it. And if you buy the season pass, once they got your money, they can release whatever they want. And there's nothing you can do about it. You already paid them. You know, and I'm sure they're not just going to release crap. They've got to release, you know, decent stuff. But me, personally, I'm either going to wait until all the map packs are released to download the season pass, or I'm just going to pick and choose which map packs I want. Because the liquid metal skins aren't that good. They're not worth it to pay the money just to get those. And so I'd rather buy the maps that I want rather than just some maps like, you know, Gears of War 2 remakes. To be honest, I didn't like many of the maps in Gears of War 2 either. Blood Drive was so overplayed it wasn't even funny. The only maps I liked in Gears 2 were the DLC maps. Like Grindyard, I loved that map. And you know, Clock Tower from Gears 1, I saw a DLC list the other day, and apparently they still don't have plans to bring that back. Why not? That was the best map in Gears 1 ever. I love that map. It was better than Gridlock in my opinion. I don't know, maybe not. A close second. Let's leave it at that. But they're still not bringing it back, apparently. Which is another reason why I'm holding off of buying the season pass. So, I mean, because I'm not going to pay for a Ruins remake I heard they were going to do. Really? Ruins? Did anybody like that map? Because I sure didn't. I hated that map. And so, I don't know about that. But one quick thing I want to talk about before we end this video is tips. Because I wanted to be more positive this time. I don't know how good of a job I've done. I guess not very good. But I want to talk about the best number 1 tip that I have to offer is tactics. To be good at Gears 3, or any Gears game for that matter, you have to have tactics. Because as important as gunplay is, using the Gnasher or the sawed-off, it's more important to have good tactics and good teamwork than good weapon skills. Because if you have good tactics, you can make up for good weapon skills if you get enemies stuck in a crossfire of lancers or hammer bursts. So you have to know what your enemy's gonna do before they do it. You gotta you just have to coordinate with your teammates. You need to get teammates to play with, and you need to play with them all the time, and you need to know each other's strategies to complement each other. And so that's my number 1 tip. More commentaries coming soon.